Welcome to this week's episode of Renegade as Fuck. If you are sick and tired of panhandling in groups to try to build your business, give this episode a listen. Welcome to Renegade as Fuck. I'm Robin Jonna Rosenhaus. I work with ambitious, unwavering women to help them get what they want. And you are...
Tanya Daka of TanyaDaka.com, and I write bold as fuck copy for bold as fuck businesses. And we are jamming on doing things our way this week because we pretty much seen the span of, running in groups and doing things in groups and spinning your wheels in groups not working for way too long. So we're doing it differently now. We're going to do it the way we want to do it and say, fuck it to that path.
Yeah, I mean, like there's definitely something to seeing how everybody else is doing things and then modeling it and seeing if it works for you. But like, I don't know. I'm so sick of like the rules of success. Like if you wanna make it on Facebook, you have to do it A, B, C, and D. And if you want to do it on LinkedIn, it's gotta. Yeah, so sure, there's ways that are more effective than others, but it doesn't mean it's going to work for you.
Right. Everybody's got their own style, their own personality. And Kat Laterzo is doing this crazy low-cost mastermind thing, because she's wanting to teach everybody how to do business their way. And we were like, that is the kind of thing that we've been talking about for a while now, because we got sick of the whole, because it feels so fake to be in the groups and just like, hey, how are you? Because that's not me. I'm not even going to come talk to you if I see you out in public. So I'm not going to come in and like why am I going to go and like try and make friends in groups with people that so that's not what works for me. That's not how getting business works. What happens though is when I create content, people respond, people engage, even people that are not in my circle, because I don't know, somebody shared it to and they happen to find it, or I got tagged on something. And so there's that. It is a slower road to China, but it is my road.
Right. Yeah, it's it's funny because I sit there and I think about, like, they talk about how you need to have like huge lists and huge fan base and all that kind of stuff. And I'm sitting there and I'm thinking about it, and it's like, we all know I'm a Leo, so I dig the attention. And at the same time, in real life, sorry that the dogs are barking, of course, but in real life, like I don't hang with a bunch of people. I have a really small circle of people that I'm tight with, and that's the way I do life. So why the heck am I gonna sit here and try to do like this business with this, hundreds of thousands of people on my email list? It's not going to work for me.
Right. You need that intimate conversation. You can't get to know people when your list is so big. I mean, granted, when things get to that point where you have that scenario, then it's a different ball game. But when you're in our positions and we're going from 6 to 7, we've gotten to 6 doing what we do. I don't need to go do some shit that has never worked in order to get to 7. So what that means is I just need to do more of what did work. I need to do more of that. So that's what my focus is now, is doing more of what did work. And that's teaching for me. So when I teach, I have a better response, and people see that, hey, she knows copy, she's been doing this a minute. She's done a few things, So I think people who are just starting out need to step into that, feeling out what does work, for the big people, and see what feels good for them. But in order to make a successful business, you can't like completely eradicate who you are. You can improve, you can do things better. It doesn't mean that you have to all of a sudden start doing shit that feels really gross and really uncomfortable. That's my rant.
Yeah. Yeah. But no, I totally agree. I mean, and there's two trains of thought. It's like what got you to point A isn't going to get you to point B. And other people are, and I'm more in of your mind, where it's like, well, this got me to here, so let me do more of it. And yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yes, you want to add some stuff, but
But
again,
stuff
it
that's aligned with who you are, though.
yes, yes, and like aligned with who you are, or aligned with who you want to be. Like, would I like to be a little more extroverted? Yeah, I would like to be a little more extroverted. But then when I
Mm-hmm.
think about the energy that it takes, the amount of energy that you have to be able to hold, right?
Mm-hmm.
To have these like mega lists and mega companies, because if you're talking about going to 7, 8, 9, 10 figures, you need to have a bigger company. I don't want, I don't want to hold that kind of energy. I just don't want to hold that. I mean, will it change if when I hit 8 figures? Yeah, maybe, but
Right.
right now it's like, yeah, no. and
Yeah.
and I and it's interesting because one of the things I was thinking about is like how different like we are in a lot of ways. Like it's just so funny because like today you're showing up in the light background and everything, but normally everything is dark over there and everything is like you need your sunglasses over here, right?
Right.
And and that shows up in our days though too. Like you get up at the butt crack of dawn, like it's and I'm like, crap, it's 9 o'clock already.
I
Well,
cannot
no,
function like that. Oh my God.
yeah, yeah. Well, the dogs start me
I
earlier
know.
than that, but
Yeah.
but still, like and it's just, so what? So because I'm not getting up with the sun, people will say, "Oh, you don't get up early enough, you're not going to be successful." No, I work
Right.
later into the day then. That's all.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's yes, you make adjustments. If you need more hours in the day, you either have to do it earlier in the day or later in the day.
Yeah. So from basically what this all comes down to is they need people who are not getting the results that they want with the processes that they're currently using. They need to find processes that align with them. They need to find processes that align with their like in terms of your industry, and align with their energetic frequency, align with their vibration, align with their goals and who they are. And what I would say for people like that who have been pounding the pavement and not getting results is, you need to alter your approach with your marketing, in terms of amping up your lead gen. Amp up your lead gen, amp up your classes, amp up your networking in terms of like who do you know that know people. Like it's easier to talk to people that know somebody that already know you than it is to just go in and start like having a conversation, random conversations. Can you set up an affiliate with people in your network so that they are getting paid for the people they send you? You can That has helped me tremendously in the
Yeah.
past. And so we went from offering 250 for sales pages to 500 for people who were helping us get sales pages in the door, and that was a game changer. It comes down to thinking out of the box. Like, what have you been doing that has felt like shit? What can you do instead of that? And it always, always, always will come down to the ways that you get your name out there faster and more easily than what you've been trying. Because if you've got your messaging, because all right, it comes down to the offer. Is your offer irresistible? um, do you have the messaging that your people are looking for? Because a lot of times it doesn't matter who you meet. If you're not speaking their language, if you're not saying the right words, your energy, their energy is going to pass each other in terms of your industry, right? And then in terms of copy, you're going to get nothing. Your conversions are going to be in the tank, right? So you have to evaluate all of this. So we can't just say, oh, if this hasn't worked for you, then try something else. I want you also to assess these other things, like, is your offer irresistible, and do you have the right messaging? And so, yeah, that's my rant. I mean, it's like, there are other ways. You don't have to be miserable trying to get leads, but you do need to know what you're doing in terms of what you do and what they're looking for in order to make those leads that you do get viable leads.
And that's, not a situation where it's like, oh, well, you're telling me I can do it my way, but now you're telling me what to do. It's like, no, figure out the way that you can communicate it, that in the way that works for you.
Right.
Because the bottom line is, when you get when you get down to the basics, like, everything in life is selling.
Right.
It's all selling. Like, when your kid wants, McDonald's or whatever, or when mom wants Taco Bell for dinner, right? It's like, you got to sell the kids on it, or whoever else is involved. I mean, and the way that you're going to do that is by tweaking your language. You're going to adjust your language so that they can hear you, but that doesn't mean that you're not being true to yourself.
Right. You're just saying the same thing in a different fashion. It's basically like looking at what you do from another angle, from an angle that is not out of alignment with who you are, not out of alignment with what you represent. It is still completely in alignment. It's just the different words. For example, so the kids want McDonald's and you want Taco Bell, or I want Taco Bell. Then, I'm going to say to them, what is it they're listening for? They want something fun, right? So I'll get you the cinnamon twist when we go get Taco Bell. I'm not feeding my kids Taco Bell for dinner. I just want everybody to know that.
Yeah.
but
this is how you make it irresistible.
Right. You have to turn it around and put it in their field of vision. You have to make it something that they can't say no to. And we're talking about offers, things that make your offers irresistible to people, that allow you so that you can step into that path of doing things on your own and doing it your way. Is trust. It is social proof. It is speaking with authority, which that is in alignment with trust. Like, you build trust when you speak with authority, when you have that conviction in your voice. And when you present social proof, that also does that. So irresistible means they need to also see the value of what you're doing for them.
Right.
And a lot of times that's monetary. What's the ROI going to be, right? What's the ROI? How much time am I going to have to invest in this? How much time is this alleviating for me or freeing up for me, right? And then, so you have to know what they're looking for in order to say it so they can see it. Say it so they can see it. That was so good. You did. I'm going to steal that.
And that is good. Write it down.
And right. Say it so they can see it.
But that's exactly like, that's freaking everything. It's saying it so they can say it. And that's whether it's an irresistible offer, whether it's creating a new relationship, it's everything. It applies everywhere in life.
Yeah. And one of the, and you could totally do a graphic about that. You could have them saying, delivering their message on this frequency, where their ideal clients are on this frequency and they're not aligning. See, I'm smart.
Sounds like a graphic you need to be doing.
No, not me. I'm not the energy worker. That's you.
But that's part of energy, right? I mean, getting the communication right is part of the energy. But and people think like energy is so woo-woo and everything else, but what makes it up, like what makes it so that people can hear what you have to say, um is saying what you mean in a way that's also aligned with you and aligned with them, right? Because
Mhm.
like, you know, you ever, it's like you walk in the furniture store and the salesperson comes up and they're like, oh my God, come here, let me show you everything, what do you need, blah, 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 blah. They might be a great salesperson, you might really like them, but when they come up with that desperation, you can't hear them, you don't
Mm-mm.
want to
You've
be
already
near them,
shut them out.
and they repel the sale.
Mm-hmm.
They completely repel the sale. And
Yep.
like that's also what you're talking about with the messaging and everything. The messaging helps align the energy. Align the energy, accelerate the results.
Oh yeah. So here's the takeaway that everybody needs to walk away from this episode from. With takeaway from this episode with. Wait. Okay, I'm not a writer. We'll just pretend.
That's the
Um,
writer. Yeah, yeah.
I want, like, everybody needs to take what you do, put it in alignment with who you're looking for, and it won't matter what avenues you take to find those people. That's what it is. That's what it is. That's what I was looking for. Like, that's where you are, your energy, your copy, your messaging, and then get it out there in the way that feels good to you, feels
Right.
in alignment with who you are and what you want. And then, because you're going to want to do it, you're going to want to do it because it doesn't feel like you're pulling your teeth out every
Right.
time you get on Facebook or every time you open LinkedIn messages or whatever. So, get all of that, get that tweaking done, and then hit the road running.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Like,
yeah.
because
And then
like
the
I hate showing up in groups where it's like, okay, well, let me go in and provide value so that I can friend the person, and then, you know, because
feels dirty.
yeah, it's dirty. It's bait and switch. It's for
Mm-hmm.
me. In my mind,
Mm-hmm.
it's bait and switch. If I'm gonna go in and provide value, I'm gonna go in and provide value. If I want to friend somebody, I'm gonna friend them. Am I
Exactly.
eventually gonna talk to them about what I do? Maybe, maybe not. But I don't want to go in with just that reason, because then it becomes
Right.
transactional.
Right. Right. And so, and that's another way for people to kind of shift how they feel about things, is seeing them not as a transaction. I'm not here for a transaction. I'm literally just here to meet people. I don't fucking care if, but I'm not going to be pitched to either. So don't jump in my messages and start trying to pitch me, because I'm not buying whatever you're selling. Um, so, in that way, though, if you have, if like all thoughts of creating a sale from that person or from anybody in that group, or from anything, because you can go into the groups simply to teach, and that's really what I like. I love teaching, and I love, like, shedding light on stuff, and like people going, oh my God, I didn't even think of that really, because I don't know if it's the high school teacher in me, the former high school teacher in me, or what. um the homeschool teacher in me. What I'm talking about. I went back all those years. I didn't have to. But so doing it in that way, where there's no, like, this has got nothing to do with sales. I'm just going in to teach. I'm just going in to teach. I'm just going in to teach. That really helps. Um, so, there are also shifts that can be created. You don't have to make friends. You don't have to meet anybody. You don't have to friend anybody in the group, or you don't have to, keep an eagle eye on the interaction on your post. So, you can just go in there and do the thing that you like to do. People will notice. People will they'll take notice of what you're saying and what you're doing without you having to poke and prod.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm gonna shut up now.
No, and that works, like, even if you're somebody who's more of that type A, and really, like, like you and I like to talk with, or those more high performing people, right?
Yeah.
But they also they hit a point where they're run, and they need to slow down, and they forget that this can work for them. Like, they don't have
Mm-hmm.
to be out of alignment all the time. And then the success becomes more fulfilling.
Right. It's less stressful. There's more of a pleasure factor to it. So yeah, totally. All right. So this episode, we have ranted and raved about doing shit your way. You don't have to be in groups. You don't have to do the webinars if you don't want to do webinars. You don't have to do seminars. You don't have to do teleclasses. You don't have to do any of that stuff. You don't have to do cold outreach. You don't have to do sales calls. You can let other people do it for you too. There's another avenue, right? So there's a way. So get yourself into alignment with what you do for your people and your message with what they need to hear, and then get out there and get at it. With that, we're going to wrap up this week, and we will see you next week on Renegade as Fuck.